I want to tell you one thing. Here's a robo thought for you. We're through 8 directors, American directors. Nobody wanted to do it. They thought it was cornball. Paul Verhoeven, man. I don't know, have you ever seen any of his movies? You ever seen? Yeah. Okay, the guy is nuts, but the guy's like he's got a master's degree in medieval history. He wrote a book on the historical Christ, footnoted and everything. He's a scholar. He's steeped into traditional myth, right? Okay, I'm going to show you this one thing. You're going to live this. There's a scene in it, I want to blow it for you guys. It's like essentially, there's a scene in it where initially I'm twirling a gun and Nancy Allen will remember me. She says, you know, Murphy, is that you? And then something else happens with Paul McCrane, and then I start having dreams. Verhoeven reversed this. Verhoeven said, no, the dreams first. Okay, in America movie making, and essentially the sort of epicenter of how we construct stories and how we're in love with them, is that you have physical events that happen to you, right? He sees the girl on the street. Oh, yeah, it's Mike Murray. He's a guy with the white hair. I knew him in high school. You go and you see a yearbook, and all of a sudden you have, you know, some sort of unconscious sort of metaphysical experience. As my friend Mike Murray went to high school with, you know, of like, who is Mike Murray? And bang, it's Mike Murray, right? That's how we do it in Hollywood. That's how the 20th century novel does it. You have physical evidence, right? And you have a metaphysical reaction. Got it? I'm sitting in this suite with Verhoeven, who's steeped in the Hebraic tale of the Golem. Anybody's read the Golem? Anybody's Jewish here knows the story of the Golem? Okay, the Golem is that a town needs the bad guys wiped out. They conjure up a spirit to help them wipe out the bad guys. Then they don't want the spirit anymore. And he goes, come on, you made me. That's that. Everybody read the book of Job? Right? They take everything away from him, everything away from him. He's still got faith and he's restored. Or, as you can see it here, Jesus. Jesus is right out of, or Akhenaten in ancient Egypt. Your physical life is not your real life. Your metaphysical spiritual life is. So Verhoeven says to me in this suite, he says, Peter, listen. This is a story about in the name of progress, in the name of commerce, in the name of business, in the name of the world, they take a man's life. In the name of what they think is good, they sacrifice a man. But what they don't take, because it's God-given or cosmic given, is his soul. And the soul wakes up on its own because it's the only thing they can't have. Got it? And when the soul wakes up, his soul is born out then by a physical life, not vice versa. Is this profound?
Yes.
You getting this? This is what Verhoeven brought to this movie. You know, 8 different American directors that have never seen that shit. Never. It would have been okay. It would have been good. It would have been brilliant. The denouement of this thing is that I got to sit back. I got to stand up on stage. And Paul and I had some fights, and he almost fired me once. And then, you know, he's completely mad. And the Robo team, the special effects guys, some of those brilliant guys in the world, finally had to say, you can't come near this trailer or we're not going to work. Because he's pounding on the trailer all the time. These guys got to do 6.5 hours of my prosthetic head at the end of this movie. It's the longest prosthetic in the history of film. 6.5 hours just for the head. And then another hour and a half to put the suit on. So I worked an 8-hour day already before the day starts. Matter of fact, I was going to the set when the crew was coming in from drinking, going, hey, we're going to bed now. I'm going to work. It was grueling. It was absolutely grueling. But Paul's ingenuity, Paul's vision, Paul's particular dynamic, Paul's sense of what this movie would represent, the scenes of crucifixion in it, the scenes of walking on water, the scenes of, there's everything you can imagine here that he infused with it. And subsequently, it is the rebirth of his spirit. This is what this movie is about. And man, you can watch it forever, and I think that's what makes it classic. So I'm sitting back, the first time I really got how powerful this film was only 6 months ago, and I watched it at UCLA. Now, when somebody says I want to introduce it, I don't want to go introduce Robocop, but now I'm so in touch with what brilliance that these guys brought to this film. And also my, a year and a half of slavery in it, that I'd be happy to come and introduce it to you guys. As I'm so enamored of what Verhoeven and these guys created, and why Harry's showing it, then I'm going to come back at the end, even though they said you don't have to. All right, and don't be afraid to laugh, because it's funny, man.